Hi guys, very good afternoon all of you. So a new day, new chapter, new opportunity to learn. So today let us start with chapter 7, organization and strategic leadership, which is honestly one of my favorite areas. So when we speak about leadership, we have so many leaders. If it is a physical class, I would have asked you who's your favorite leader. Then you could have spoken about some political leaders, some business leaders, some leaders from sports and all. So, normally we spend a lot of time on Dhoni, a lot of time on some chief minister or some prime minister or some, you know, uh, this freedom fighters, people will say Mahatma Gandhi, people will say, this Subhash Chandra Bose, and then Ratan Tata. So we have so many leaders to discuss about. Having said that, here the kind of leadership what we are speaking is strategic leadership relating to business. So basically, you need to understand leadership, strategic leadership. Leader can be a formal leader or an informal leader. So you give a title to a person that, so and so Pavan is CEO of so and so organization. He becomes a formal leader. But in a group of 5 or 10 people, even when you are friends, there are some informal leaders who motivate and influence others. So leadership need not be a formal thing. It can be an informal thing as well. So you are not appointed by leader. You are not appointed leader by someone, but you behave like a leader, which is a positive thing. So leadership basically is the ability of influencing people, which is completely different from management. So now let us see, what people understand in general sense. I know you do not know the theory, you do not know textually what we are going to discuss, but in general, let us see what is the difference between a manager and a leader. Let us see how people contribute. So, Shriram, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What do you think the difference between manager and a leader is? In general terms.
He will be role model for everyone.
Who, manager or leader?
Leader.
Okay, then no, I'm asking you difference between manager and a leader.
In general terms, sir. If any success case happen, leader will share with everyone. If failure happens, leader will take blame on him.
Okay, very good. What about manager?
A manager he used to use his routine work.
Okay. Anything else? So Aishwarya, what do you think?
Sir, I think manager is the person who execute the task.
Okay.
He's the only executor.
Okay.
Not the problem solver or.
Very good.
Very but good. Leader is the problem solver and motivator, and he's the person who allocate the work to others.
Okay.
But manager is only doing the work what they allocated.
Last one sentence I do not agree, but whatever you said makes a lot of sense. So Anisha, what do you think? Anisha madam. Niranjan, you are there? Ask the
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
That's what is the difference?
Sir, the leader is one who actually motivates the employees to do the work properly, sir. Manager, he just gives the task. He just wants the work to be get done, sir. But leader takes care of the employees' physical ability and also mental ability, sir. He provides the correct atmosphere for them to work.
Okay. Anisha, we are unable to hear you, ma. Maybe some issue with your mic and all. Don't worry, leave it. We'll discuss again. Coming back, Niranjan, correct. You're right. So, guys, let me tell you one thing. Say, for example, if Anisha is a director of a company or any level of manager, be it top level manager or middle level manager or functional level manager, you cannot distinguish whether she is a manager or a leader, because every person who is handling, some authority, who is handling some responsibility in an organization can behave like a manager in some situations and can behave like a leader in some situations. So Anisha can be both manager and a leader. Pavan can be both manager and a leader. But what distinguishes my management role as my leadership role is management is an administrative activity that controls people and that enables them to get things done through others. Management is the art of getting things done through others. So management is basically an administrative activity that controls a process, that controls a situation, that controls people, that controls a procedure. So you are more of an administrative controlling supervisor. That is management. But leadership is not a control. Leadership is not a control. By leadership, what we feel is a leader is a person who brings W-E-V in the world of I and you. So if for example, Sriram is my subordinate, I'll not call Sriram, hey Sriram, this is your work, do this and report to me. If I am manager, I'll do this. If I am leader, I'll not do this. If I am a leader, I will call Sriram and say, bro, this is the task on the table. We have to do this. We. So delegation of work, controlling the situation, getting the work done is manager. Making the people understand the task, empower them, influence them, motivate them, try to train them, coach them to the best of what they can be. And a leader is a person who creates more leaders. If you are manager, you do not want your subordinate to be the manager, you want your subordinate to be the subordinate. But if you are leader, you will allow other people to grow. You will help them in growing. You will manage the process of their growth. You will empower them. So I speak a lot about MS Dhoni in many situations, whether it is informally with my friends or with my students or corporate seminars also. It is just because of two things, okay? His presence of mind, understanding the situation is one ability which distinguishes MS Dhoni from all others. He's a supernatural guy. When understanding a situation, he's a supernatural guy. He controls the situation like anything. One. Two, just imagine you are MS Dhoni and you have given clutches of, captaincy to some other youngster like Virat Kohli, and you played under them, helping them, coaching them, making them, helping them to grow bigger. Before MS Dhoni, how was captaincy in Indian cricket? After MS Dhoni, how was the captaincy in Indian cricket? Of course, thanks to IPL also, because of this format, now if Indian team of 11 people are playing, can you believe in that 7 to 8 captains are there, isn't it? Guys, isn't it? In Indian cricket team of 11, there are 7 to 8 captain materials.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
anyone
Yes, sir.
can handle situation. You ask KL Rahul to handle situation, he can. You ask Hardik Pandya
New
to handle
captain
situation.
Hardik.
You ask Virat Kohli, you ask Rohit Sharma, you ask Ravichandran Ashwin, you ask Jadeja. You ask even the youngsters like Sanju Samson, Rishabh Pant kind of people, Ishan Kishan kind of people, they also can drive here. How beautiful the situation, the system is now. A great journey. That is actually leadership. What MS Dhoni has done with his youngsters, that is leadership. Having said that, like how we have 3 levels of manager, corporate level manager, middle level manager, functional level manager, we do have 3 levels of leadership also. They are strategic leadership at the top, tactical leadership in the middle, operational leadership in the third level. In this chapter, see, leadership is actually a 600 marks module wherein you can make one MBA for strategic leadership, and there will be 6 chapters, six subjects only on leadership. Can you believe? For example, SLOT. I have studied a subject called SLOT, SLOT, Strategic Leadership and Organizational Transformation. That was for 200 marks. Change management, change agents, strategic leadership in this situation, strategic leadership in that situation. So it is an ocean. But in CA inter-syllabus, thanks to ICI, leadership is a very small topic. So it is probably a 5 minutes, 10 minutes topic. So strategic leadership is leadership at the corporate level, at the top level, which will direct the company towards its future. For example, Satya Nadella, when he has become CEO of Microsoft, he told very clearly that Microsoft till today has been this company. Going further, I am looking Microsoft as, he said, they're focusing more on the cloud management. They're focusing more on the teams. They're focusing more on 1, 2, 3, which were not there in the previous leadership. So prior to me, the CEO, when he closed his eyes, he saw Microsoft after 5 years, 10 years as so and so. I am changing it completely, and he's damn successful. The same thing is done by Sundar Pichai. The same thing is done by Tim Cook. Can you believe when I have done, one research on, not research, it is called study, not research, sorry. When I have done one study on Tim Cook, Steve Jobs is considered to be one of the greatest brains of this, you call it generation, or you call it the current business environment. Steve Jobs is considered to be the best brain. Now, he has given clutches to some other guy. Now imagine Tim Cook, one new person came. Extremely different leadership approach. Extremely different leadership approach. Steve Jobs was completely a different leader. I cannot say autocratic or I cannot say monarchy, but he's more or less that kind of guy. He says, this is what I'm telling. This has to happen. Something like Elon Musk now. Elon Musk. So though they speak with people and allow people to speak, in their mind, whatever they want, they'll do that one. Tim Cook is completely different. There were so many articles in big newspapers questioning the ability of Tim Cook. Will he be able to handle the legacy created by Steve Jobs? Many people, expressed their concerns and doubts, and many people thought he'll not be able to handle. And do you know one thing I'll tell you today? Steve Jobs has created super duper products. Like, he launched that iPhone, he launched that iPad, and revolutionary products he made, which has given growth to company. But in 10 years, Tim Cook has not even introduced one new product. Can you believe? But the growth rate is 3 times more than what Steve Jobs has created for them. No one knows this. Steve Jobs was running behind innovation. With that, he is able to create the brand. Just imagine one new guy came, no, path-breaking products, nothing new he has done, but he is able to manage the company that gave 3 times market capitalization and growth compared to Steve Jobs. This actually is more beautiful. So you really do not know. And they followed completely different leadership styles. So at that level, whatever the leadership they exhibit, that is called strategic leadership. Pavan sir, in finance department, there is some problem or some conflict, Pavan sir. This finance head is there, no? He handled the situation superb and he is a leader, Pavan sir. Yes, but he's not strategic leader. He's a functional leader. Strategic leadership has something to do with the direction of the company. Now, coming to our syllabus and coming to the process of strategic management, guys, try to understand, once you formulated strategy, what is the next step? After formulation of strategy, what is step 2? Aishwarya, after formulating strategy, what will you do?
Implementation.
Okay, correct.
Sir,
Step 1 is strategy
testing and
formulation. Step
observation.
2 is strategy implementation. Correct. Strategy implementation has to follow strategy formulation. While implementing strategy, note down in your notes, 3 things play a dominant role. While implementing theory, while implementing, implementing strategy, 3 things play crucial role. 1, leadership. 2, culture. 3, structure. Leadership, culture, structure. Okay, that 3 components we'll discuss in this chapter. This chapter is all about leadership, culture, structure. Now, there is a beautiful saying which you can read on the board, on the screen. With weak leadership, even the strongest plans will fail. But with strong leadership and a meticulous execution of a ordinary plan, ordinary, very moderate, normal plan, with a good leadership, still you can be successful. So great plan plus poor leadership is equal to failure. Great plan is great, plus leadership is poor, you'll fail. Plan is okay. It could be a poor plan, it could be a moderate, normal plan. But leader is, an effective guy. He's an experienced guy. He knows how to handle the situation. So a strong leadership and execution of strategy forcefully might give you bigger victory. So once, you decide something in the boardroom and said, hey, this is our strategy. Who will implement the strategy? Say, for example, there are 10 people in the board of directors of Microsoft or Google. All these 10 directors, they discussed a lot. After a lot of brainstorming, they decided, hey, we're going to do this. Who ensure the implementation? They cannot say, hey, you implement. No, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. In the board of directors, there will be 2 parts. If you read corporate governance properly, you will come to know this. In CS syllabus, it is there. Whatever I'm speaking, it is there in CS syllabus. It is there in CMA USA syllabus. It is there in CMA USA syllabus. It is there in CS syllabus. It is not there in CS syllabus. Board consists of 2 parts. Board consists of 2 parts. Executive directors, non-executive directors. For non-executive directors, the leader is chairman. Chairman is the head of non-executive directors. For executive directors, the leader is CEO, Chief Executive Officer. That is the reason he is called Chief Executive. For executive directors, he is the chief. You understand? So if a board consists of 10 directors, ideally out of 10 directors, 5 should be executive, 5 should be non-executive. There should be a balance. One category cannot outweigh another category. This is one of the principles of corporate governance. So the leader for executive directors is CEO. The leader for non-executive directors is chairman. What is the difference? Executive director is the one who involves in implementing the strategy. So if you are executive director, you have 2 responsibilities. You will participate in strategy formulation. You will participate in strategy implementation also. If you are non-executive director, like, chairman or independent directors will be there. No, they will not be, engaging in day-to-day operations or implementation of plans. They lend their brain only in the brainstorming, only in developing strategies. After that, they will not involve in implementing strategies. they will be, developing strategies, but not implementing strategies. Even when you look at your accounting standard 18, related party, whether director is a related party, there is a beautiful discussion on it. And do you know, executive directors who has both the authority and responsibility of implementing strategies and directing the company are related parties to the company. Independent non-executive directors are not related parties according to AS 18. Many people do not even know this. So see how, beautiful this connection is. There is law, there is corporate governance, there is secretarial compliance, there is, accounting, there is strategic management. So all the things are interlinked. So basically what I'm saying is, these executive directors are the strategic leaders who participate both in strategy formulation, plus they will have to take care of implementation also. Today, Sundar Pichai or Tim Cook, they cannot blame another person responsible. Hey, you are the reason for failure. No. They have to accept the responsibility as well. So, Pavan sir, basically, when we are speaking about, strategic leaders, what is the role they play? What is the role they play? Simple. In 5 bullet points, we have given it there. One, staying on the top. Staying on the top. So you are on the top of the company in the pyramid. You stand, at the peak point of the organization for 2 things: to accept the responsibility and to execute the authority. If you are prime minister of a country, you are not just authority, you are responsibility also. If you are CEO of a company, you are not just authority, you are responsibility also. So stay on the top for accepting responsibility and executing authority. Then team building, because nothing can be done as an individual in organizations. It is all about teams. Team building. Innovation, what kind of ideas you bring to the company. Then be ethical, because people will follow you. If you are ethical leader, people will follow you. Like how Jamshedji, how JRD Tata, how Ratan Tata behaved. That is copied, adapted, inspired, cherished by remaining people. Today, if you say Chandrasekharan, so he might, both inside and outside, he will have Ratan Tata as his ideal. So ethical leadership is very important. Okay, it is not like, in war, nothing is unethical. You can do whatever you want. No, still you should be ethical. I'll give you one example. Pepsi and Coke are rivals with this level competition. Cutthroat competition. When some of the top level people of Coke copied the intellectual property in device like a CD or pen drive, they tried to sell the secrets of Coke to Pepsi. Can you believe? Competitor of that level, they did not buy the data. They have lodged a complaint on the person who offered secrets of Coke, and the person who tried to sell was arrested by FBI in US. This is ethics. This is ethics. Stealing the intellectual property of the other company and trying to win over them, is the normal brain. Now imagine, because Pepsi has done this. Do you think any person in Pepsi will try to sell the data to Coke for money? They will not. Do you think Coke will entertain anything like this from any of the executives of Pepsi tomorrow? No. This is what we call ethical leadership. Even you look at Ramayana Mahabharata, when these people fight, after sunset, so they will halt the fight, and only next day after sunrise, when both the teams are ready, the referee will say, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, shall we fight? And then start fighting. Evening after sunset, can you believe soldiers of that team and this team will sit together and eat. That is called dharma. That is called ethics. Even for war, there are ethics. Even in, running business, there are ethics. You cannot kill a person, in the night. You cannot kill a person who do not have a weapon in hand. You do not fight a person who's not ready. You should not. So there are so many rules. There are so many rules. Ethical leadership is very important. Then doing mistakes is common. Accepting the mistake, taking the feedback, listening to people, and evaluating, monitoring, making corrective actions is actually leadership. So tomorrow, if my subordinate says, Pavan sir, you're wrong in doing this, you did this wrong, you should be able to accept it if it is wrong, and you should say, yep, correct. So for organizational growth or health, we could have done it like this. Chalo, let us do this. That should be, I should be able to accept it. Constructive criticism should always be welcomed. So if you are not welcoming it, you are not a leader, you are a manager. So this is the role. So in the next, page, if you see, strategic leadership is the ability of influencing others. So you are influencing others and you are allowing them to make decisions. You are not taking a decision and influencing and putting it on the shoulders of others. You are helping them to make decisions. Okay, even in parenting, I have seen, being an academic head of a few institutions before, not now. Even I have seen some parents will be there. Hey, after 10th, you are doing this course. Student has no option. Okay. That is, controlling and managing, controlling a kid. There are parents who ask, beta, after 10th, you have this options. Which one you want? After your graduation, you have these options. Which one you want? So if you are a leader, you will explain them pros and cons. Okay, this is science stream, this is math, this is arts, this is commerce, this is finance, or this is so and so. These are the pros and cons. And you do your own research, and then you tell me which one you are interested in. So if the student comes and says, if the child comes and says, Dad, I want to do a diploma in digital marketing, or I want to play football, parent will not say, have you lost your brain, idiot? There is no career on that, do this. Even when I wanted to do some certain things, not by my mom and dad, even by my relatives or the society, the so-called neighbors and all, they said, no, this is not useful. Don't do this. But if you are a leader, you will influence others to make their decisions. You will not put finger in their decisions. You will make your followers take decisions. So that enhance the prospects for the organization's long-term success while maintaining short-term financial stability. So you'll protect your P&L, you'll protect long-term growth. You'll protect your P&L. You will not give absolute autonomy to your child, and you will not see when he is spoiling his career. No, you will protect. You will be a coach. That is one. And then these 5 points, whatever we have discussed, staying on the top, team building, innovative ideas, ethical leadership, corrective actions are given in 5 bullet points. Whatever is given in the previous diagram are explained here. Okay, so who will read this? Niranjan, can you read these 5 points?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, read.
The role of strategic leader is as follows.
Okay.
Staying on top of what is happening, closely monitoring processes, finding obstacles, and solving of issues. Promoting a culture of esprit de corps, that is team spirit, among employees to make them perform at a high level. Keeping the firm responsive to changing conditions, alert for new opportunities, develop competitive and innovative ideas to increase competencies and capabilities. Maintain ethical leadership, pushing corrective actions to improve strategic execution and overall strategic performance.
Correct. So that is, the role of strategic leader. Now, the next one is role of strategic leader in implementation. When you are implementing strategy, what to do? When you are implementing strategy, what to do? That is given in this particular para. Let us read. So, Niranjan, continue reading this.
Role of strategic leaders in strategic implementation. Strategic leaders are those at the top of the company, in particular the CEO, but other commonly recognized strategic leaders include member of the board of directors, the top management team, and division general managers. Strategic leadership refers to the ability to anticipate, envision, and empower others to create strategic changes as necessary. Strategic leader can guide the company into new dimensions, scopes by influencing the behavior, thoughts, and feelings of co-workers, managing through others, successful processing and dealing with changes and uncertainties. Strategic leaders are challenged to adopt their frames of reference so that they can deal with rapid complex changes. A managerial frame of reference is the set of assumptions and accepted wisdom that bounds a manager's understanding of company, the industry in which it competes, and the core competency that it exploits in the pursuit of strategic competitiveness and above average return.
So all of you read these 5 bullet points and let me know. I'll give you 1 minute of time. Read this and let me know whether you understand this. In the chat box, once you complete these 5 points, let me know that you are done. If you have any doubts, ask me. After this, we'll go to next topic. Are you done? Aishwarya, you completed, ma?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now read this next. Responsibilities of strategic leader.
Responsibilities of strategic leader. The responsibilities of a strategic leader includes managing human capital, since human resource is the most valuable resource and directly affects the firm's performance.
Correct.
Managing firm's operation in strategy implementation and execution.
Continue.
Sustaining the high performance over a period of time, making bold and courageous, at the same time pragmatic and feasible decisions in order to take the firm to greater heights. Seeking feedback through face-to-face communication, thereby motivating people.
So what are the responsibilities of strategic leader? See, organization is about 2 components, 2 major components. What is that, One is operations, the processes. 2 is human resources, the people. When you integrate the process with a human approach, you are a leader. When you focus on the process, you are a manager. How this task is to be done, you are focusing on it, you are a manager. When you bring people approach, human approach, you are bringing heart to attaching that to the brain. Manager works only with the brain. Leader will have a heart also. So strategic leadership includes operations on one hand, human resources on another hand. How this process is to be done, how this task is to be done, and whoever is involved in doing this, how to ensure his welfare, how to ensure his physical, mental well-being. This is leadership. Manager will tell you, go and fight in the war. Leader also will ensure that you are protected. You are fighting, but at the same time, you are protected. That is where strategy comes onto the picture, wherein one person will help the other. You cannot fight individually. You have to fight as a team, shielding. So if you look at the responsibilities, first one is human capital, people approach. Second one is operations, the activities in the company. You bring both so that you will have long-term, high sustainable performance. So this is one bunch. Then take bold and courageous decisions. So you should take, bold decisions, but they should be realistic. Bold decisions, but they should be realistic. Initially, when Elon Musk said, I am working on this SpaceX, this space research and all, I'll send rockets to Mars. So I'll make it possible. A human life in Mars is possible. That is what he said. People criticized. Everybody criticized. Not only the papers and reporters, everybody criticized. But do you know, after a few years, NASA entered into a joint venture with Elon Musk, and both of them together are working this. What the hell does this mean? This means he is visionary and what he is speaking is sensible. If NASA doesn't enter into a contract with Elon Musk to work together, then probably, you might have felt that he's an idiot. So common man said he's an idiot, but NASA said, no, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. It is something very silly, like, now if you see the big names in music industry, like Anirudh, like Taman, who are crazily successful, and people like Neha Kakkar, they face the maximum criticism. Every roadside guy who doesn't even know how many swarasthanas are there, Sarigama Padani also you do not know, but you can say Anirudh is a copycat. Taman is an idiot. Like, they do drums when someone dies, oh, dinchik, that kind of thing. Neha Kakkar, she doesn't know how to sing also. Look at what they have created. You go to A.R. Rahman and ask him, do you think Anirudh Ravichandran is a copycat? Do you think S.S. Taman is waste fellow? Do you think Neha Kakkar doesn't know singing? A.R. Rahman will not criticize them because he knows music. Who will criticize? Roadside people will criticize. Roadside people will say he doesn't know music. What you know in music to judge Taman? So it is something like, an elephant is walking and the dogs are barking. That happens to every leader. You call it Nelson Mandela, you call it Mahatma Gandhi, you call it anyone. In any field, they will face the criticism. But do they have the mental ability enough to handle that? If they have, they will be successful. Elon Musk is the classic example. When his first rocket he launched was failed and it was a disaster flop. The company shares have fallen. Lot of criticism inside the board. When Elon Musk convened meetings inside, the shareholders, the directors, everybody literally stripped Elon Musk naked stripped. They were criticizing him left and right. He accepted it. He took it. And what he created after that? 100 countries to allow Tesla and EV, 100 countries, more than 100 countries, they came with a new economic policy, you call it, or new industrial policy, you call it, welcoming EVs and giving subsidy. Why? Because at the end of the day, they realized this is the future, which Elon Musk told 20 years back. I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, okay? I'm definitely not a fan of Elon Musk. If I write top 10 business leaders I love in my life, if I write top 10 leaders, Elon Musk will not be there. But whether you like him or no, you need to recognize what it is. So you can love Hrithik Roshan, you can hate Hrithik Roshan, but you cannot say he's not a good dancer. Okay, so you could be Shah Rukh Khan fan, but still Hrithik dances well. Same thing with me. So I might love some other strategic leaders, but having said that, Elon Musk, bold and courageous decisions, still they are feasible, practical, technologically viable, achievable, realistic. That is what makes you the strongest person. Today, in world top 10 richest people, he is there. Top 10 influential people, he is there. What not about Elon Musk? And do you know how much of remuneration he draws as a CEO? In Indian currency, it is 4,000 crores. 4,000 crores. One working day, he earns more than 10 crores. Imagine the guy, one working day, he earns 20 crores only remuneration, not dividends, not capital appreciation of his company, not any other, growth, just salary. Salary. So in a day of 8 hours, if you are earning 20 crores, that means per hour, how much you are paid? Per hour, 2 crores, 3 crores. That is the level of brain. So making bold and courageous decisions. At the same time, they are pragmatic, feasible, technologically possible. Those decisions will take the firm to higher heights. Oh my God. Then seeking feedback. So they should accept criticism. They should take the feedback. They should motivate people. They should interact with people face to face. Every Friday, did I tell you, every Friday in Facebook, there will be one open forum. Every Friday or Thursday, I do not remember. This Mark Zuckerberg will come. He'll speak with people, open house. He'll speak with employees. Now you can say, sir, I'm a lower level employee in Facebook. This is my idea. Welcome. Acceptance, face-to-face communication. Then when you speak about leadership styles, there are two types of people. This is very interesting, very important. There are two types of people. One is called transactional leadership style. Another one is called transformational leadership style. There are actually so many leadership styles. From the trait model, I can speak about leadership for 1,000 hours. You put a clock, 1,000 hours, I can speak about leadership, but that is not required here. So we are not doing this. If you read the evolution of leadership, there is a lot before these two models, and there are so many other theories after these two. But when you speak about these two, transactional leadership style and transformational leadership style, which are existing even today, but there are leadership styles beyond these two. There are so many leadership styles beyond these two. There is something called situational leadership. There is something called servant leadership. There are so many other behavioral patterns as well. But coming back to this two, transactional leadership is a traditional style. Transactional leadership is a traditional style. This is economic reward and punishment system. Transactional leadership is a traditional economic reward of, offerings, punishments. For example, I will call you and say, bro, you have to sell goods worth 100 crores. If you are able to sell goods worth 100 crores, I will give you these many stock options. I will give you 2 crore rupees of cash incentive. I will give you a promotion of, into senior vice president. I will give you a car. I will give you a bungalow. I will give you this, I will give you that. This is called reward system attached to target. But if you are unable to achieve, you will have a penalty as well. Penalty in terms, whatever the entitlements you get will be cut. I'll not give you performance linked incentive. I'll not give you ESOP, employee stock options. I'll not give you this growth. I will not give you this position. And if you're unable to achieve even 60% of the target, you have to quit the company. Bye. So the boss is saying, I love you when you achieve target. I don't love you when you do not achieve target. This is transactional leadership style. So in this leadership style, what the leader is, exhibiting reward system, economic rewards and penalties. This works when the business has a strong processes and procedures and very formal organization. It is not unorganized sector. So like a formal organization, settled environment, there are no more adversaries or adversities, we call it turbulence in the environment, settled environment. That is called transactional leadership style. In a way, you are controlling people with money. In a way, you are controlling people with money. Characteristic approach. Transformational leadership is completely different, wherein you use your aura, charisma. You use your aura, charisma, and the moment you enter the boardroom, the whole vibe will change. People will smile. Oh my God, this guy came. So you bring the enthusiasm, energy, using your charisma, which motivates people to achieve more. This is social rewarding system. This is not economic rewarding system. This is social rewarding system. Recognition, empowerment, human approach, cohesiveness, togetherness. Okay, it is something like, one organization CEO goes to one particular functional manager, hugs him, gives a shake hand, and recognizes you've done an excellent job. He can do anything for the company. Ratan Tata going and speaking with one human resource manager or one production manager in Tata Steel or in Tata Motors, and then shaking hand and hugging and say, your work is excellent. Imagine, will that work? Yes. That is transformational leadership. Transformational leadership works more when the environment is not settled, when the processes are not strong, informally. So small organizations or even big organizations which do not control people, transformational leadership will work. So transactional leadership style is an economic reward system wherein the leader says, hey, do this task, take this money. Do not do this task, if you do not achieve the target, this will be the penalty. That is economic reward system. Transformational leadership is social reward system. What is that? You are recognizing people's effort. You are appreciating them. You are empowering them. So because of your charisma, you are bringing zeal, enthusiasm, passion in the people. You are inspiring them to be a better person. That is what we call transformational leadership style. Okay. So guys, you understand the difference between transactional leadership style and a transformational leadership style? So Aishwarya,
Sir.
Tell me one thing, which one do you think work? If you are CEO of a company, which approach you follow, transformational or transactional?
Sir, I would follow transformational leadership, sir.
Correct. So that
my
works
point of view, sir, if I'm a student, if I love the teacher, I read the subject more. So
so you like the strategic management subject or no?
Yes, sir, I like the subject, sir.
Okay. So yeah, true. If you like the teacher, you love the subject. I agree with that. Having said that, remember all the papers you need to pass. Even if your lecturer is a dash also, you have to pass the paper. Keep that in mind, okay?
Yes, sir, of course.
Very good. Then
I think transformational strategies definitely work out, sir, compared to transactional.
see, there is an evidence in the history that both will work. Okay.
Okay.
And more like when you are working with lower level teams, when you are working with people who do physical work, then more controls and transactional leadership only works. So if there is, say for example, there is a factory or there is a facility where 1,000 laborers are there, where 1,000 workers are there, and you have a target of achieving 10,000 units per day, where you have to export them to another country, and your vice president operations called you and said, hey, Aishwarya, I want by the end of this month, I want 1,20,000 units to be produced in your Chennai factory, in your Chennai facility. You cannot inspire laborer. Okay, you cannot inspire laborer with your charisma, and you cannot get that 1,20,000 units of production. Simple. What works there is, boss, work 8 hours, manufacture this, finish the output, take extra 200 rupees a day. That means in this month I'll pay you 6,000 rupees more. Your salary is 7,500. Your incentive will be 6,000 per month. Imagine you're getting 13,500 per day. Then laborer work. Isn't it? When you convene a meeting with all these 1,000 laborer and you are inspiring them by saying this will be the status of the company after you achieve this 1,20,000 units, and all, they are least bothered. So there are people who look beyond money. There are people who look at money. Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So both the styles work basically.
Yes.
So it depends on the situation. You need to have situational awareness. You need to have an understanding of what works best in the situation, and then you have to do that. As I told you, in the same person, one manager can be there, one leader can be there. In me, there can be a manager plus leader based on the situation. Like that, I believe, I did not see this in any academic textbook or literature. Probably if I am writing a textbook, I will follow this approach. There can be a transactional leader and transformational leader in the same person. This is my personal version. So if you are a leader, maybe in some situations you follow transactional style, in some situations you follow transformational style. So Aishwarya, do you think this is possible? Can the same person behave this way based on the situation or that way?
Is it definitely is possible, sir?
Yes. So maybe probably situational leadership, whatever they speak after these two, maybe that is a combination of this. Okay. So shall we read and understand what is there? Transformational and transactional. Hello, read it, please.
Yes, sir. Transformational leadership style. It uses charisma and enthusiasm.
Yeah, see, some people call it charishma, some people call it charisma. So you don't really need to look at what is the correct pronunciation of it till the time you understand what it is. Okay, you can speak both. You can call it charishma, you can call it charisma. Okay, continue.
To inspire people to accept them for the good of the organization. Transformational leadership style may be appropriate in turbulent environments, in industries at the very start or end of their life cycles. In purely performing organizations, when there is a need to inspire a company to embrace major changes. Such a leadership motivates followers to do more than originally affected to do by stretching their abilities and increasing their self-confidence, and also promote innovation throughout the organization.
So if you look at it, in the life cycle of a company, you call it a product life cycle or company life cycle, there are 4 stages, isn't it? What are the 4 stages? Introduction, growth, maturity, decline.
Maturity, decline.
Correct. So when the project is in introduction stage, people do not know more about the possibilities, so they will be skeptical. There you need to use your transformational leadership style to motivate them. And when you are in the fourth stage of the life cycle, that is declining stage, even there people need your support. So in the introduction stage and decline stage, transformational leadership works more. But when you are in growth or maturity stage, transactional leadership works more. Have a good day. Okay, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Continue. Transactional leadership style.
Transactional leadership style. Transactional leadership style focus more on designing systems and controlling the organization activities, and are more likely to be associated with improving the current situation.
Okay.
Transactional leadership style uses the authority of its office to exchange rewards such as pay and status. They prefer more formalized approach to motivation, goals linked with rewards or penalties. Transactional leadership style may be appropriate in settled environment, in growing or mature industries, and in organizations that are performing well.
So second stage and third stage, there is no, problem. Actually, the company is performing well. Say, for example, you are marketing manager in Unilever. Unilever is a company which is doing pretty good. So if you are marketing manager, I really need not influence you, inspire you to sell more. I can simply say, bro, listen, I have Dove soap, which is world famous. Simple, you need to sell Dove soaps. Sell these many soaps. This is your incentive. Full stop. That works. That works. You really, Unilever in particular products, they don't need to influence managers to perform more. Just give salary hike, they'll do that. You understand? And it is a reward system exchange, economic rewards. It is using authority. It is a formal approach. So you understand the difference between transactional leadership and transformational leadership?
Yes, sir.
Hello. So we are done with one part of the chapter. Shall we take a break and come to discuss other parts?